Alright, everyone, Moist Critical just dropped, so let's check out the video. The new TikTok trend is getting people killed.
I'm becoming more and more convinced that TikTok is actually a weapon used to weed out stupid people. Because this story
Oh snap, oh snap. Classic Moist Critical jokes, let's go, let's go.
is not the first of its kind. This is not an isolated incident where a TikTok trend or challenge leads to a lot of fatalities. It's honestly getting to the point where these headlines feel like they're AI generated. Like the one we're talking about today feels like a fake story put into Grand Theft Auto as a joke. Just something they slid in there as something silly, but it's apparently legitimate. There's a TikTok trend called the boat jumping challenge.
The bow jumping chap, man. I guess we will die for clout nowadays, man.
Which is responsible for at least 4 people's deaths recently. And the
Shaking
challenge,
my
as the
head.
name would imply, is jumping off of a boat going extremely fast. You don't need a master's degree in physics to figure out why this is dangerous, but just in case, I'll lay down the brass tacks, so I'm gonna sit you down in the classroom here for the lecture, so spit out your gum. Since the boat is moving so fast, when you jump off of it, you hit the water hard as shit. You generate a lot of force behind that impact. It's a goddamn wallop. So,
Dang, bro. I had a boating incident before, like, the boat, like, was carrying a rope, and the rope, at the end of the rope was, like, these inner tube things that we would ride on. And he scratches the freaking rope against me from the boat on my stomach, man. It really hurt.
what's happening is when people are jumping off of the boats, they're hitting the water and then snapping their necks and drowning. It's an easily preventable and probably the most embarrassing death
But thankfully the scar is gone finally. But seriously, there. Oh my gosh.
imaginable because you killed yourself for a goofy ass TikTok challenge. And I also hate that everything in the world is called a challenge these days. That word has lost all meaning. There's nothing challenging about this. Jumping off a boat doesn't have any level of
Yeah, don't do that, man. Don't do that.
difficulty or skill to it. The only challenge, I guess, is surviving it, like avoiding being banished to the fucking Shadow Realm for it. But I'm so fucking tired of everything getting called a challenge, you know? Here's the poop without wiping challenge. You take a shit and you don't use any toilet paper or a bidet to clean your anus. Expert difficulty, ultra nightmare
Yeah, we're good on that. We're good on that.
mode, impossible challenge. You won't last 5 seconds. It's so dumb. I'm so tired of everything.
Nah, man, don't make that a challenge now, bro. No one wants to smell everyone's poop in the public. Like, nah, man, do not make a challenge. Yeah, we're good on that.
Than getting labeled a challenge. But anyway, this trend of boat jumping is responsible for at least 4 deaths, and like I mentioned, that is just the saddest.
That's sad. Well, you know they're gonna not post it on TikTok now. But yeah, gotta slap. Participating in this activity may get you hurt on those videos, man.
Way of going out.
And they should be deleted now, man.
Not only is it like an agonizingly slow, painful death, but that is just, you're probably getting made fun of in the afterlife for that. Dying for a stupid TikTok trend, you know the angels are shooting spitballs at you. Like that is, like it's just a shameful way of exiting this corporeal realm and shedding the mortal coil. That is so fucking sad. Like I feel horrible that, you know, people have, you know, perished from it. But I honestly am stunned by just how quickly the human brain is devolving. This is like human instincts 101
Thing, bro. The boat challenge, just I don't think we're devolving though.
shit. Like, this is common sense. This is an instinct you're born with. Not to, like, jump off of something going fast because it'll create bad ouchie boo-boo moment. Fucking cavemen probably would know not to jump off of, like, a speeding vehicle like this.
But they wouldn't know what TikTok is, you know? They wouldn't know what TikTok is.
I just don't understand how anyone would see this challenge and think that it was somehow safe or wasn't dangerous. Like, you'd have to know. You would have to know. And another thing is, It's so traumatizing, like dying this way, not only because it was extremely avoidable, but
Any death is traumatizing, man.
because it's most likely done in front of your family and friends. Like if you're on a boat, you're probably not on a boat with strangers. That's not exactly like you can call up an Uber to do this with. You can't just call up like a boat service, right, to pick you up and do this TikTok trend. So you had friends and family around you filming you, and then you did the TikTok suicide challenge right in front of them, and
No, don't even call it that, bro. It's all bad.
they watched you die and fucking filmed it. That is scarring. That is
It is, man. Never attempt this. Never attempt it.
that is incomprehensibly nightmarish. So like this whole thing is it's shocking that anyone would actually even
Why are does anyone know if he does his eyebrows? Like, why is if his eyebrows feel like well done or something? I don't
do
know.
this. Like 4 deaths from it is surprisingly low actually. I imagine that's only the reported ones so far, assuming this is a
Yeah, once the deaths happen, nobody wants to do it no more. So
popular trend. And I decided to look it up myself on TikTok to see how big the trend was. And it seems like it was pretty big. And there are still quite a few surviving videos of people doing the challenge. But all of them seem to at least had the foresight to recognize that, pushing that bitch wide open on the boat going like 60 would have been a complete disaster and led to a Mortal Kombat fatality. So the ones that are on there right now are slow boats. They're going slow. So that way they don't hurt themselves doing it or like
that's good. That's good.
get seriously injured from it. Whereas most people, I guess, didn't recognize that and amplified the danger, fucking evil Knievel, and actually just warp drived their boat and jumped off, which led to these 4 deaths in Alabama. This whole situation proves to me, with my fucking tinfoil hat conspiracy theory, that there has to be some kind of shadow organization, the puppet masters pulling the strings of TikTok, that are in this think tank coming up with the most dangerous trends and challenges, knowing that stupid people will die doing it as a way of like population control or something. Like,
Okay, that's like super conspiracy theory. Like, I I don't know. I kind of disagree. Like, I don't know.
not only is TikTok legitimately rotting the brains of so many people, but they're not satisfied with that. They're gluttonous for more punishment of the human species. So they're coming up with challenges like this, knowing that people will die doing it. Because, like I said, this is far from the only one. There's also, of course, like the blackout challenge, which was literally suffocating yourself, and some people died doing that.
Okay, that sounds dumb. No one wants to.
Which
That's why I don't do TikToks like this. I just be reacting. That's all I do.
obviously, but that was the whole fucking challenge. Basically, you just strangle yourself until you're about to pass out, and some people died from it. But the point
I just react and play my video games. That's all I'm good at.
is, there's so many of these challenges now. This is just the most recent one. And what's even crazier is I think back to the Tide Pod challenge, how everyone all at once recognized the stupidity and the danger of it, and yet that didn't have nearly as many deaths or injuries as any TikTok trend that comes out. Like every big TikTok trend
Yeah, the Tide Pod was definitely before TikTok, it seems. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it is.
has like at least a handful of deaths associated with it at this point. And even extending further beyond Tide Pod Challenge, many people forget this one, but it's one I look back on with a big fucking smile on my face that someone even tried it. There was something called the Hot Coil Challenge, which was only ever done by one person. It was a dude who
What
just
the heck?
turned his fucking stovetop on and then put his bare forearm on it and let it incinerate his flesh. So he just slams his
He's trying to make himself some freaking. He's trying to become a human steak or something, bro. That's not good.
arm onto the stovetop and lets that motherfucker simmer. He is in there just letting it cook. So he holds it there for a little bit, obviously just melting the flesh off, fucking cremating his forearm, and called it the Hot Coil Challenge. And that would have been less detrimental to human health than fucking TikTok trends like the boat jumping challenge. There would have been less deaths in the Hot Coil Challenge than there are in things like the boat jumping challenge and blackout challenge and all of that. That's so crazy. Now, this isn't exactly related to the boat jumping challenge, but I want to
Are
illustrate
humans are us humans getting so bored nowadays?
just how dangerous water speed is. There is a record for the fastest water speed ever achieved, and it was set back in the 70s. And you'd think upon hearing that, like, oh, we've advanced well beyond that with technology. How have we not been able to beat a record from the 70s when it comes to water speed? And that's because it's considered the most hazardous thing to ever engage in. It's the most dangerous record to ever try and break.
Dang, for real?
There's a whole Wikipedia page dedicated to it. Of the last 13 attempts to break the water speed world record, there have been 7 deaths. And the 2 most recent attempts both ended.
Oh my gosh. Despite this, there are several teams currently working to make further attempts. Oh wow. 317 miles per hour, guys.
In catastrophe and death. It is a record that most people don't really want to challenge because it is so fucking dangerous. I feel like a lot of people just don't recognize how dangerous water can be, which is a silly thing to say because I feel like most people should be able to, but we're living in clown times right now where people are just they're not thinking anymore. They see internet engagement and all rational thought goes right out the window. So it's fucking dangerous. Obviously, this boat jumping challenge was going to lead to serious injury and death. And yet, people were blinded in the pursuit of clout.
Dang.
A story as old as time now. Well, not really. A story as old as 3 or 4 years now with how desperate people are for clout that they are actually killing themselves for it. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to talk about this.
Well, screw the water speed world record. We ain't gonna try that. Check out him, Penguin Zero, in the description. And I'll see you guys next video. Peace out, everyone.